everyone, it's Tania Gabrielle here, Wealth Astro-Numerologist. Welcome to Star Codes, the podcast where we look at an upcoming event in the stars and numbers. And today is going to be a very special episode because we are actually going a little bit more galactic today. We're going to look at an event that has not occurred in around 250 years. And I'm so excited about it because it involves the energy, the frequency of Venus, love, peace, harmony, abundance. And it's a really, really big shift in the Venus star cycle. So today we're going to dive into the Venus star and how the Venus star is moving into Libra. Now, let's look at the date first, and then I'll go more into detail. It happens on an incredible numerology day, and that is October 22nd, 2022. First of all those twos signify harmony, bringing two together as one. Two is the number of peace and harmony. And this date, 10/22/2022, adds up to 11. Now, 11 is a master number and 22 is a master number. And that's when a number is intensified by doubling it up. So 2 ones and 2 twos. And so there's a really big magnification of the meaning of these numbers. So 1 is creativity, originality, starting. It's more masculine, it's action, going for it. And 2 is the diplomat, the caring, the kindness, harmony, beauty, love, and is considered more feminine. So we're bringing these two together. And I've actually created a whole free webinar on Venus and the Venus cycle we're about to look at, including the 5-pointed star, the 13 Venus phases, and Mars, and how the divine, feminine, and masculine are coming together now as the ascension is very much in play on Earth. So you can go watch that at venusmarscode.com. And I'll tell you a little bit more about what's in that webinar later because it's going to tie into this forecast. So 11, universal date, is the ultimate psychic number, the number of you tuning into source, using your ability by going through the heart to be so utterly present, so in this moment that you are only tuning in to the divine. So that's what 11 actually means, being utterly present where you become a channel of the divine. And 22 is considered the architect of peace number. And peace, of course, is vital to feeling grounded, balanced, and in harmony. So these two master numbers are very much in play on the very day that this Venus star ingress happens. Now, let me go into what it actually means. So Venus has a longer cycle than Earth in terms of the length of the year. So Earth's year is 365 days and Venus's year is 584 days. And in a span of 8 Earth years, Venus appears to move backwards 5 times, which are the retrogrades. And so when Venus creates this little loop of the retrograde and goes behind the sun, she creates a 5-pointed star over that 8-year period. So these two planets, Earth and Venus, trace out this beautiful pattern of a 5-pointed star as they both orbit the sun. And 5 plus 8 equals 13. Which is the number of completion. It's the 12, like the 12 months, and then the center point, which is the soul. And so it represents creation, it represents life-death transformation. So after this 8-year period, Venus has created this gorgeous pattern, this design, this galactic design. Venus returns to her original place and starts the pattern over again. So it repeats every 8 years, which is the infinity number. Now, in my free webinar, which you can watch at venusmarscode.com, you will see a video where Venus is literally drawing the pattern. And the most amazing thing happens as the pattern is coming into effect over this 8 years. The first symbol that is drawn is an actual heart, a human heart, the way we draw the heart. As the first pattern that Venus draws. And of course, Venus governs love. Venus governs the heart in astrology. Now, this ingress of the Venus star, which last happened 250 years ago, the Venus star moving into Libra, and Venus rules Libra. So Venus is going to feel very happy and comfortable. And that means there's going to be a lot more joy and balance and peace, love, abundance that we are going to awaken to over the next few years as we acclimate to this incredible shift on Earth with the Venus star. It's something really, really to be excited about and to understand that, Libra is the balances. Libra represents harmony and justice and love between two, right? Venus rules the 7th house in astrology. And the number 7, we have 7 days in a week. It represents the divine completion. In many cultures, 7 is a number of good luck. And yes, it is truly a remarkable number. And next year, just to bring in one more tangent, next year, 2023, we will be in a 7 universal year, literally a couple months after Venus moves into Libra, which rules the 7th house, the Venus star. Abundance will be a big theme. And so we need to really look at our hang-ups, our programming about prosperity and abundance, and be in a place of feeling blessed. So every time we see anything that reminds us of abundance, to bless it and have it multiply, and to look at what we need to neutralize in order to diffuse all those discordant thoughts and beliefs that we have about money itself, but seeing money as a form of survival as opposed to a neutral energy source. So really look at how the triggers around abundance or even the word money show up for you, the thought processes, how you align with abundance. Do you judge it in others? All of this is going to come up. And so as soon as you have none of these energetic programming templates running anymore, lack, struggle, about abundance, you are going to really change your life and feel that inner peace and harmony at all times. If you find yourself dwelling on what you don't have, say those words, that you surrender to spirit, that you allow spirit to come through you and to provide you what it is that you require. So however anything shows up for you in your life, you are provided for. And so that indicates that you need to receive. When you surrender, you're opening yourself up to receive wisdom. And so make sure you listen. Don't reject help when it comes, whether it is actually tangible and practical help or spiritual help. You want to really look at your resistances as well. So this is one of the topics that's really going to be much more active. And then another one, of course, the big one is love. Venus and Libra symbolize love. And so we want to look at goodness and being loving and doing good in the world and doing unto others in the way that you want done to you, treating others the way you want to be treated. That's a big one. It sounds really simple, but it's easy to say like a mantra or a belief, but it truly means that we are not just here as parents taking care of our kids, but we are caretakers of each other and the earth. Treating everyone how we want to be treated means everyone, right? So if we can't live by that code, by that word, by that divine will, then we are not in a place of creating love. We are actually doing the opposite. We are preventing love from flowering. So we need to really look again at how our beliefs around love have created a real disconnect from what love actually is. And to understand that as we go through this transition on Earth now, we will really start seeing a difference in the world of frequency. So in this case, there may be a difference between people who are of service and those who are self-centered, for example. So now you become much more conscious about being neutral about that. So not to be in judgment, but to be in neutrality as you observe this split that is actually going. So to live by the highest Venusian and loving values requires you to be in a place of the observer, of neutrality, of objectivity, to see that everything that you observe, whether it seems negative or positive, is all simultaneous and is all part of the whole, right? So that is really multidimensional living. It's not to be on one side of it or the other side, but to just observe it. And that can only happen when you're centered here in love, centered here in your heart in love. And that's truly what love is. It's the highest vibration in our universe is love. And it requires that we live in neutrality and that all our behaviors are recalibrated so that we truly are listening first from guidance that comes from that source, from that love, because then our whole perception of how we are being will shift. And this has not been taught to us, right? We haven't been taught to truly align with what is honorable and what is not. And so we then shut down our voices. I'm sure you have felt this in your life where you feel you couldn't speak up, whether it was a kid in school, in a class. You feel like you don't have a voice. And it's not necessarily to mean that we go yell judgments at others. It is just to feel comfortable to speak when we see a right or a wrong and feel like we can't speak up for fear of being punished, for example. So that has then eliminated our natural instinct to be accountable, to stand for what is good, and to treat others the way we want to be treated. That really goes out the window when we are in that sense of fear and not in a place of accountability. So this movement of the Venus star into Libra, which represents love and harmony, is creating a really, really big opening now for us to put love first, to put source first, to put creator first. And that will make us holy. So before we put our work first, or our partner, or our children, or our family, right? Before we do that, we put love first. And when we do that, we have committed to the source of all living things. We have committed to, we are all in this together. We all come from the same source. We are all source. So we are not putting love in the back burner anymore, right? We're not severing our connection to our own divine consciousness, which lives in our heart. Our heart is love. So, and if we keep doing that, if we still put love last or next to last, then we won't trust people. We will blame the external, blame others, blame the world. We lose all sense of reality in terms of that we created the world that we live in. When we put love first, we immediately awaken to the fact that we actually participated in creating this world, willingly or unwillingly, knowingly or unknowingly, we did. That's really the first part of the accountability journey. Our own participation in this storyline is really the key. And so now that the Venus star is moving into Libra, we're ready to be really in harmony, which means to be accountable, justice. Our thoughts, our words, our actions are all congruent, they're aligned, they're in balance. And when we come from love, when we come from our heart, the Venus star paints a heart, we realize we are all one soul. We are all completely one. Now, Mars is about to go retrograde 8 days. So on the October 30th, the Venus star moves into Libra on October 22nd. And then on October 30th, Mars stations retrograde. And that's just 8 days. And it's the number 8 again. So it's very significant. 8, the infinity number, the empowerment number, the leadership number, the taking your power back number, right? This sets up a wonderful opportunity to bring polarity into harmony, to get centered in neutrality, because Mars and Venus represent the ultimate symbols of what we are bringing into balance, getting out of that polarity. Because we all have the masculine and feminine, we all have Mars and Venus within us, each one of us, no matter what gender we are. So discover more about this incredible dynamic between Venus and Mars in my free masterclass, venusmarscode.com. And like I said, you will see that gorgeous heart that Venus paints in her incredible Venus star journey every 8 years when you watch that free masterclass. So enjoy that. Have an incredible week. And I'll see you in next week's Star Codes.